Yo, 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 it's Jeb in his house. Hey, yo, we're going to space, yo. Hey, yo, we're going to space. Rolling on 909s, making money big time. Hustle Uncle Sam on the taxpayer's dime. Where's the spaceman in our space bridges? We gone from rags to buku riches. Throw your rockets in the air like you just don't care. Throw your rockets in the air like you just don't care. We a G unit, baby, and don't you forget it. We a G force, homie, that's a G limit. We on fire like a blade of home down. See you later, but before I'm out, let's launch the Cap Simulator. We a G unit, baby. We a G unit, baby.
Hello everybody, the Lord Roots here, and welcome back to another episode of G-Limit. So we have a number of contracts we want to take on, and just some things here. We have, of course, this Fly by the Moon, but we also have these two visual surveys that we have to do. And this one in particular, I think it's maybe right here. This one we were having trouble with. There's also the possibility as well that because we need this science data, that we might consider doing tourist ferrying, and that will make us a little bit easier. It'll make it a little bit easier for us as well. So what I'm going to do is I've already created this guy right here, the rocket, which is kind of like a rocket plane. It's kind of a poor man's substitute for the Rapier engines. And what I've basically done is I've put this fuel tank on the top here, and we'll just get brakes going real quick. This right here, we're going to use this jet engine. We'll see. We need to see first of all if we have any thrust. That is the swivel engine. We're building up thrust, so I think we're good here. While we're at it, let's get this guy as well. Oh nice, we have a distance indicator here. So by utilizing part clipping, we're able to sneak a rocket engine in. The question is going to be, you know, this guy can lift several tons. We're already a little bit too high up, I think. But we need to turn around for sure in order to get over here. No science on this guy, of course. I think the science is not necessary. But we're going to get over here, and we are going to do what we can. And I'm just going to level out over here. We're going to do what we can to get up to altitude here. What I'm going to do is, knowing that this is fairly tedious, I am probably going to cut out part of the video here. At least the part where we fly through. I'm going to transition right until we get close. Because it says ETA is going to be about 20 minutes or so. And I think that is a little bit too long to wait. So, yeah, we'll see you then. And we are back. I had recorded a lot of footage and then found out that I did not have any commentary on it, which is a little bit bothersome. So I'm just going to move on. I may, I guess, do a quick fast forward through that, just to compress, just to give you an idea of what it is that I've been doing. But other than that, you know, I don't really feel compelled to, you know, re-record the footage, and I lost the save anyway. So we had unlocked the LV-909, and that actually means a lot of good things for us. I think what we'll do is we will take our Polaris probe and do some surgery on it. Now this guy, of course, has the ability to get into Kerbin orbit, but we have a number of things we need to do here in order to satisfy that. So one of the things I want to do is I'm just going to pull off this engine. We're going to start from the bottom up here. Now this top stage should more or less, it looks like it has 381 meters per second of delta V. That's in the atmosphere. But when we get into orbit, we will have 1.5 kilometers. And we can get almost 3 kilometers of delta V out of this for about the same price. These stages, as it turns out, or these fuel tanks, are a little bit cheaper, so I don't mind doing that. After all, we will recover this as well. Might be good for us to have some kind of science here. And if we can get this guy attached properly. In fact, maybe there's room in here, although that's probably somewhat doubtful. But let's assume that there is. And let me just take this guy off here. If I've done this correctly, and it looks like I have not, what we can do is we can take this guy out here. And I can maybe tuck the antenna in, like so. Doesn't look like it's going to work. So there's a number of things we can do here. Probably the best would be for us to find a way to stick this on top like that. It's roughly in the center. And I'm just going to rotate it into position. We'll get a little bit of just a shade in the way of drag. I think that's probably good enough, though. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. And solar panels would be good to have as well. Now this will be a little bit more expensive than really what we're used to, but you know what? This guy's going to be in space for a long time. And we're doing well here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to call this the Polaris Recovery Module Mark II. And you can see here, everything seems to be staged correctly. We have almost 4 kilometers per second at delta V. We need about 3,500 to get out of the atmosphere, and very likely we will want something to the tune atmospheric here. 129. We can maybe deal with that. I think we can get this flyby contract. I've not exactly... You know, there used to be these exploration contracts, and what they would allow us to do is they would allow us to get everything in one go, more or less. But yeah, we have this guy here. Can also finally complete one of those satellite contracts. Now we have control. And so I'm going to go ahead and launch this guy. The fins are not so useful to us anymore, so I am not going to use them, I don't think. But yeah, we'll begin turning over now. I guess I should have put the we'll set that as a target. I should have maybe do need to be careful about this. Our prograde is getting past us here. My hope is that we will not lose the transmitter. It's very likely that we could. But the heuristic for this seems to be that we want to be at about 45 degrees by the time that we get to 10K. That is the recommendation for this. We can maybe go a little bit shallow if we need to. And we are losing control very quickly, which suggests to me that we're fighting drag. We're about out of the worst part of it, I think. Might be kind of nice to have fins on here, but... You know, the fins are actually rather... Well, they're not pointless to have. Oh, we're very, very steeply inclined here. Let's see if maybe we can change that. There we go. Oh no, up, up, up. that is a good place to start. And for this sort of maneuver, I think we have just enough fuel. We just want to do a flyby. If we can get this guy stable, at least. I probably could have flown this a little bit more easily if I wanted to, but let's get into orbit at least. Not the most efficient of orbits. But that is, you know, that's circular enough, I think. Actually, that is perhaps... That's even better. So, 3.5 kilometers per second. Can we do it? Well, we'll find out. I reckon sooner rather than later. We want to probably burn around 7 seconds or so. Okay, where are we at right now? 75 by 79. I will take that. And let's see if we can get a free return trajectory. That would be preferable. Free return trajectory is a little bit easier for us to get. So that'll maybe take about a day or so. I'm gonna come in pretty shallow here, I think. Maybe about 30 or so kilometers, I think, is ideal. We'll even go 32. So we'll do that. That's in 17 minutes or so. It may turn out that we may need just a little bit more fuel than we have. Now, I don't know if we have the amount of fuel we need to have for this. In which case, we'll keep a close eye on this. We'll re-enter. If not... yeah, it's looking like we're going to run out. So, you know, we might get some signs from here. And that means I guess we should put more fuel on this thing. To get to the moon, we are probably going to want a little bit more Delta V than what we've collected. But for good measure, we will collect all of the signs we can. We'll just reset this materials bay here. We've got to come up here in 41 minutes. And no, it might be good to recover this guy while we still can. So I think we can work to the next maneuver now. And we will just get all that science taken care of. But we don't even need the maneuver node. That's going to be rather pointless for us to have. Okay, 35. We could possibly do re-entry with that. We'll grab ourselves some materials-based science for another 4 or so science, and we'll also grab, let's see, we have the goo, we have the thermometer, if I can target it, I may need to plug my mouse in. I mean, we should be good. Probably good on our end to close everything up. And maybe hope that we can recover. We're not going to get much in the way of money back from it this time, I'm afraid. We were short maybe 300 or 400 meters per second of Delta V. That'll be no good if we want to get to the moon. So I'm thinking maybe 4,000 is what we want to be at. And we are beginning to lose control. Should be a little bit easier for us to control from here, I think. Oh no, is that going to crash into us? We will just have to see. We're probably going to hit, I think we've already hit apoapsis. This guy will just sort of gracefully descend down, which means it is probably going to come down in an unpredictable location. Although we're coming down pretty quickly, I think. As long as we can get that apsis. Done for. I mean, we have more or less, we've done a skip re-entry here is what we've done. And that's so, for something coming back from the moon, that's not a bad idea. There it is right now, laughing at us. I'd say curse the moon. Okay. Well, looks like we're going to have a water recovery here. And a rather harsh one. But I'm going to prepare for landing. Hopefully pretty soon. And we'll deploy the parachutes at about 1,000 meters or so. Wouldn't be bad for us to have them. Now, it's entirely possible that I've gone overboard on these parachutes. But, you never really can be too careful. I seem to have gone overboard on the ablator as well. We are about landed here. So, yeah, let's get this guy in for a landing. So you know what, I guess I'll leave that other part of the video out. It's the part with no commentary. It's mostly grinding anyway. We did take a tourist stop. But, and that was interesting. But, you know, we don't really care for that. Yeah, let's get, this guy back. Maybe we can... You know, we can possibly do that. That's, not going to be too difficult to do, I don't think. Well, we'll leave it. Maybe something better will come. But, let's improve this guy, because it's clear that we can get into orbit at least. Getting to the moon is another problem entirely. Maybe we can get around that with SRBs. And, my thought on the matter is that if we utilize this, we can get out of the atmosphere a lot sooner. We may also wish to give ourselves more fuel. Because, you know, I think more fuel is a good idea. We won't have to worry about running out so quickly. So I'm going to throw on an extra tank here. We're making it even 5,000. This is probably closer to what a moon rocket should be. And I think we can do it with this. In fact, we could probably get into orbit with this. But, with that having been said, we do want, you know, we want this guy to be a fairly easy shot, you know. So, oh yeah, we need nose cones on this too. Though once we get the big parachutes, we can start putting them on here. And maybe some launch stability enhancers as well would be nice. Except we don't have them. You know what? Let me save this. We have a contract for that. So yeah, I'm using the Kerbin engineer just because it gets kind of tedious calculating everything by hand. Let's see, we have launch stability enhancers here, and maybe a little bit more expensive with that, but we can recover them. Let's just throw good old KER, or the flight computer unit, on the side here. If we can. And just one of them. Let's just have a mass. Not a very big one. We don't even have to throw it on the side, really, but or in the bay, because it is stronger than the nose cone. But it might not hurt. Oh, it's over 30 parts. Okay. How many over 30? This could be a bit of an issue. This is another 6 parts here. And this is part of the issue with not upgrading the VAB, is that there we go. We're still over just a little bit. But we have almost 5,000 meters per second of delta V. And we can put the launch stability enhancers on. So I'm going to do that. I mean, we're pretty much set with that. We'll give this another go. I think that this will get us going. And whatever science we get back, we can spend on maybe fairings would be nice. I want orbital and vessel parameters. Okay. One more go at it. We're vibrating just a little bit. Unfortunately, our total delta V is going up. Now there's just a question if we can keep this thing from ripping itself apart. I reckon part of the reason it is doing so is that... Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's see, maybe it'll be possible with this. I'm going to deploy these parachutes. We need a better way about this, I think. just throttle up just a little bit so we don't lose that engine. That was a rather rough recovery. I mean, we're fortunate. We got most of our funds back. In fact, I reckon, yeah, we got almost all of it. We can get these launch clamps too. Is there anything maybe that we could... Science data from around space and Kerbin. That would be excellent. Let's see, how are we on parts? We are at the limit. Although, we don't really need these anymore. Or anything we can dispense with, I think... I think we can do like that. We don't need all those solar panels anyhow. That means we can put 3 of these fins on here. So we will not lose control. Let's just move our center of lift down to... I'm going to move it down below here. This is getting a wee bit more expensive than I care for, but... You know, I think it's worth it. Get our rendezvous. Well, let's not worry about the rendezvous. And we launch. To think that one stage we had was almost perfect. It's just a matter of maintaining control over this thing, really. the suboptimal side. Hopefully, with a little bit more of an aggressive burn, we can get up to the point that we want to get to. How are we doing on Delta V here? Well enough, I think. I think we're in pretty good shape with that. Okay, that seems like a very good deal there. We should have more than enough left over in terms of fuel. Make sure we are lined up for final adjustments, and I'm going to burn at about 4.5 seconds here. There we go. That's a pretty circular orbit. More circular, at least, than I am used to. Let's target the moon, and let's maybe add... Let's get ourselves a free return trajectory going. That seems perfect, and it's very close by, too. That way we will have fuel for braking if we need it. Now I think the real question is going to be, first of all, we have a thermometer here, and hopefully I can select. Let's get ourselves some science, just to fulfill that contract. Not that it'll do much for us. But it's a good thing to have. And maybe we can burn at 18 seconds in order to get this guy. Going the way we want it to. Now, a good thing for us to have, at least to my way of thinking, and which we may actually end up getting before anything else, you know, we could use RCS jets. Just keep on target there. Periapsis is 51. Is that going to lower us? I think if we make minor adjustments here, we can get a periapsis that we can agree will be good. Okay, let's go with that. Actually doing pretty good here, won't we? We'll warp out there. Actually, you know, before we do that, it might help for us to be in a place where the sun is in line of sight. Because we do happen to want batteries to be charged. Let's warp to that point in the orbit. Okay, we're in space now. We need to get some science for that. I want to get science for here too, because it's, it's worth a fair amount. Really depends, can we target this thing? Let's at least get the science that counts. There we go. I reckon if we go back to our contracts, we will maybe have one that says for us to get science. We will have to look into that. I think that could be a fine mission. Though, you know, that'll be hard to say. Well, let's get this guy on back, because I don't know about you, but I want to be able to take advantage of the science we got here. So, yeah. You know, we're now in a pretty good spot. We can leave the moon. I mean, we got what we came for. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get as close in as we can. We'll try recovering this thing. I think we have sufficient charge. So we'll close our service bay. That's been a 2-day mission. I was going to close the service bay. It seems to be somewhat bothered by that prospect. And here's the real question. At the altitude we're coming down at, because I'm not really expecting we'll be anywhere near the KSC. Although we may be. But at the altitude we're coming at, is it going to be possible for us to efficiently break? Around 40 or so kilometers. We'll find out, won't we? Whoa. You know, we'll just have to see. We've got a lot of energy to kill. More energy than last time. And you know, normally you would not worry so much about that. But yeah, I think we're definitely coming down. So far, everything's looking good. I mean, it's You know, we've collected materials bay data that would be very useful to us. And we're coming down over here, looks like somewhere near the crater. Now there are some people who go through the pain of, you know, they'll go through the pain of trimming these things so you end up in orbit. I don't think I will. I think that we're more than good enough here. It's really just going to be a matter of getting past this re-entry heating, which is sort of a big deal. Now we have an altimeter on this, which is, I think it's a good idea to have an altimeter, because then we can get pretty close to the ground. No idea what that was. I do know that I am not interested in losing the contents of this probe. So we do need to maybe do a, you know, we need to release the parachutes as soon as we can, so that, you know, we can afford to wait for this guy. It's got precious science, and we could send more, but there's really no point. Excellent. Oh, KSP crashed, but it looks like everything is safe for now. Hopefully, hopefully this can be recovered. And, you know, I think with this amount of science, we really should be thinking, first of all, what are we going to spend it on? Because we should have a fair amount. We have really enough for we even managed to recover a bunch of parts here. So do we go with fairings? I think that would be a good start, to be honest. We could do fairings, we could do these fuel lines here. But I'm going to go with this just so that we can do fairings. And we'll go from there, because the fairings will be really useful to us eventually. And in the interim, we can make better planes. Speaking of which, let's take a look at our contracts. We have rescue a Kerbin, which I think is not a bad idea. We can build a rescue craft for this guy, and that way we won't have to spend any money. So I'm going to get that. I'm going to leave Explore Duna for now. We still have this guy to complete, and I think I have a plane that will do it. And we have this guy as well, which I am certain we can do. But we'll clean all that up. Maybe hope for some more exploration contracts in the future. But until then, this has been Thy Lord Root, and I will see